Hi fantasy managers, welcome to FPL Team Talk. So in this video I'm going to go through fantasy every week to be able to go through my side and my thoughts on the best side possible and the transfers that you could make nearer to those deadline and match day kickoffs. Every week, one or at least one, I'm hoping to do it in about 10 minutes. This one maybe slightly longer than normal just because I'm going to go through some of the overall rules and thoughts about how it's going to be played. But otherwise, they're going to be quick, short and sharp videos. So please, if you enjoy these sort of videos, give it a like. If you find it useful, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And in the meantime, let's take a look. So Fantasy Challenge is a game that has been set up alongside the FPL main game, and it's starting in game week 30, and it has some sort of changes and variants to the normal FPL game. It absolutely stands alone from it. It has no bearing on your normal FPL side, and I think it's just intended for a bit of fun and almost being marketed as a bit of a casual player's way of playing the game, in that you are just going to effectively, with a few twists to the rules which I'll go through, have a free hit every week, enter into the league, top 3 managers each week will win a prize. That being said, there are a couple of different changes to the way it works. In terms of scoring, that does not change. The defenders will get the same amount of points for clean sheets, lose points for red cards, yellow cards, as will all players. Scoring goals will be the same for a defender, midfielder, striker, assist, bonus points. All of that will stay the same, as will the prices on the normal FPL site will be the same for the FPL or the Fantasy Challenge site. So the only differences really are that it's a 1 week punt. You can have up to 5 players from any one side, and each week there's a little bit of a challenge. There's going to be a little bit of a twist to the rules or to the point scoring. In game week 30, which I have on screen, there is an unlimited budget, so you can just pick any 15 players you want and put them into your side without any effect of the budget. Next week it's going to be I think forwards scored twice as amount of points, and then the week after that they've already announced it's going to be, I think it's the Reds Challenge, where all Manchester United and Liverpool players will score double. So when we're putting our sides together, we've really got to consider that as well. My intention is really to put a video out each Thursday, maybe 5 minutes, no more. This one will take a bit longer because I'm just explaining the rules, but hopefully keep it under 10 minutes. And it's, like I said, a bit of fun. The way I would read it is that there is another change to it that just makes it kind of not as casual. If you were a casual player, I think you could put the side out, and I've put one out on screen now, and I'll talk about it in a second. But there is a bit of a twist in that the deadlines are not set the way they are on the FPL site. So normally the first game will, an hour and a half before the kickoff, that will be the deadline where you have to set your side up, and then you kind of just walk away and hope for the best. With this, that isn't the case. You can change your team up to the minute the player is playing in the match. So for instance, if the first game of the week was Chelsea versus Burnley, and actually I saw Petrovic on the team sheet was going to be replaced by Sanchez or Raya, I could move him straight into the side. He would come in, Sanchez would just play, and I'll just take Petrovic out. I could replace Petrovic with any player, goalkeeper, provided they hadn't played in that week. And then half my squad could play, and then let's say on Sunday when I'd have Arsenal versus Liverpool, if I wanted to, I could then put my Arsenal-Liverpool players in. So basically I can change up to the last minute if that was a fixture, obviously Liverpool playing Brighton. If Bradley wasn't playing, then I could move him out. So up until the game, up until kickoff, I can move any player out that hasn't played yet to any other player that hasn't played yet. So that's really interesting. So that kind of feels to me like it does reward those players that are putting more of a vested interest into the game. I know for one, if you're like me and you're mad on your FPL, then I will be swapping and changing for players coming in and out of the side. If I see a certain player that is going to play that I think has got a much bigger upside and a differential, then I'm really going to go for it. If I saw that actually Darwin was not starting and Gakpo was, even if the two were starting, Gakpo was playing down the middle, I think I would just go for Gakpo, because I think less people will have him and it's more upside than Darwin. And again, it's just a punt. I'm not really going to be bothered if Darwin returns, so many people will have him. I don't feel like I'm going to win on that. But if Gakpo returns and no one doesn't, then suddenly I've really got a chance of being high up on the league table. So this isn't going to distract me from the normal FPL, so I don't think that I will be engaged, because once an hour and a half before kickoff and that deadline passes, I think I'll just be focused on this. I just wonder whether that will have a conflict of interest. Will I actually be hoping one thing over another? If I've got, if I see João Pedro's playing, if I want him in and I've got a Liverpool player defender on the other side, will I be looking for both things? I don't know. Maybe it will just keep my interest into certain games as well, which could be quite nice, that I normally wouldn't have an interest in. In terms of the side itself, I am really going to be heavy each week in targeting the fixtures. I really am. I look at Chelsea, Burnley, Tottenham, Luton and Liverpool, Brighton are 3 fixtures that I'm going to target. I'm ignoring Arsenal, Man City, Haaland, Saka. They could all do brilliantly, but I just think I'd much rather go with someone like a Chelsea at home to Burnley. I think there's much better odds of them scoring and getting returns. So I'm looking at this side, and a side already I'm considering it. If Chilwell starts, I think I would definitely go for Chilwell. See, I've got the luxury of being able to think about this. If Richarlison starts, because we will find all this information out before kickoff, again, I think I'd bring Richarlison in. Gakpo, we've already mentioned. If Sterling and Mudryk start, I think as good differentials, yeah, I could start to pick out. I could move maybe Isak out and play 5 across the middle and go with that. I'm even tempted, if Chilwell starts, to go Pedro Porro out and Chilwell in there as well, or even possibly Robertson. So there's quite a few different options. Muniz, it could be an option instead of Isak, but remember, we've got no restriction in terms of the cost. If you think that KDB's got a great option and he's going to get minutes and he will really perform well against Arsenal, by all means go for him as well. But I'll have this side. There's some players that I'm just not going to budge on. I think Bradley starts, he plays. Son, Palmer, Maddison all have to, and so does Salah. I'm not going to budge on those. And Nicholas Jackson, he's been looking, different player to the one at the start of the season. I think he's a really good option. The bench, every week, I don't think the bench is going to make a lot of difference, because I'm just going to know who's playing. So actually my bench for the next few weeks will just have the cheapest players on there. And I'm just going to I'm going to invest all that money in for first 11. And if I'm just there looking at the team sheets, those players are going to come in and out. So the bench will just be as cheap as possible, because I know who starts. So it's not like the main FPL game where I need the bench because they may not play. I will know if they're playing or not, and will move players around accordingly. So this will be my side. I've got the 4 Chelsea players in there. I've obviously got 3 Tottenham players in. I've also gone for 3 Liverpool, and then I've got Isak in there as well. But yeah, I think if Chilwell plays, I think if Robertson's there, or Gakpo, Sterling, Mudryk, Johnson even. If Johnson plays, possibly do I drop Isak and bring him in? Darwin doesn't play, maybe Gakpo gets the nod ahead as well instead. I think there's lots of options, but it's really interesting. I'm definitely going for differentials. This would be the side I think I would maybe just put down if I wasn't going to engage with it over the weekend. And then I've got lots of Alex Moreno, Trippier and Kulusevski on the bench. I mean, they are going to get coming. If Gusto doesn't play, Moreno's a good attacking option. And if Darwin doesn't play, Trippier could come in. You can move Kulusevski if you want to further up instead of him if you want a more attacking Tottenham option. But that is my side. That's the way that FPL Challenge is going to work. Let me know what your thoughts are. It'd be interesting to see what the take-up is over the first few weeks and how that pans out across the season. That's it for this one then. Let me know in the comments below if there's anyone I've overlooked or any players that you are definitely going to bring in for your Fantasy Challenge team. Game week 30, the very first week and launch of this whole Fantasy Challenge adventure that we're going on. So I will come back at you next week with my team for game week 31. Let me know in the comments below how you got on, and good luck with game week 30. Shall speak to you soon.